Hello everyone and welcome to The Agenda. My name's Rob Waters. I'm with the Herald Sun's Jay Clark and we're trying to pick ourselves up off the floor after yesterday's heart-wrenching draw where Collingwood let slip a 50-point lead after playing some of the best football they've played in years. Jay, it's a bit difficult to know what to make of it.
Emotional aftermath for a lot of Collingwood fans, I would have thought, and feeling torn. Is that glass half full, Rob, or is it half empty? But I'll ask you this question. Before the game, if I'd said to you, will you take a draw against the flag favourites without captain Scotty Pendlebury, what would you have said?
I'd take the draw, but when you're 50 points up and you've regained control of the game in the last 5 minutes and there's 4 seconds left and you lose in those circumstances, it's a bit different.
Absolutely devastating. When you think in that last play too, Tommy Langdon had the ball. He just needed to pick one more free target and that would have ended the siren. However, as we know, Jake Kelly takes the mark, a potential Collingwood father-sonner at one stage, ball goes back in McGovern and they win. Look, you look at Collingwood's best footy this year. They beat Geelong, they beat Hawthorn, they beat Sydney, they get within 3 points of GWS and now get to 50 in front of Adelaide. When you're looking at this side for next year, you're thinking you've got a team who can play top 4 football. But it's just the inconsistency which has really spoiled the whole season. And now finals are over, Robbie. And that's absolutely gutting for everyone at the footy club. But the big question is, when they review this game, when they get into the post-mortem, what went wrong in that third quarter?
Well, a few things. I think they missed a few opportunities when they were going goal for goal with Adelaide and could have maintained that 8-goal lead.
Yeah.
Adelaide got a couple of goals and then they got interested. And then Collingwood started to give them the ball back.
Yeah.
So Adelaide's modus operandi is to score from intercepts. And 11 of the 13 Adelaide goals in the second half came from intercepts.
Yeah.
So I did think that Collingwood had stabilised it after Adelaide had got on the run, and then we saw what happened in the final few seconds.
Big picture for me, Rob. This is the same old story for Collingwood. It's their ball use. So they've been good in the contest. They've got supply forward. It's been easy turnovers. So not even like kicks under pressure. It's been uncontested kicks, in particular on the weekend.
20 metre ones that missed the mark.
Exactly.
And then they just took it to the other end and goal.
So short kicks to a 50-50 contest. And the Adelaide rebound, they got Jenkins and McGovern one out. And, you know, with Goldsack, Collingwood a bit light on down there. So those short 50-50 kicks, the ball use again, same story for Collingwood.
There was one of the great performances played yesterday by Daniel Wells.
Wasn't bad, was it? I mean, at the start of the year, everyone debated $600,000 a year on a 3-year contract. Is that too big of money for Daniel Wells, especially when he had a series of calf setbacks? The jury was really out on this. But yesterday, we saw, again, one of the most lethal ball users in the AFL. What did he have? 17 score involvements out of Collingwood's 28 in total. He went at 80% efficiency by foot. He zigzagged across the ground, Rob, like a few other players in the league. And you watched that yesterday thinking, of course, he's worth the money.
17 score involvements would nearly be a season high for anyone.
Yeah, a league record, you would think. So he comes up against his old team this week against North Melbourne. You think there's going to be a bit of emotion there. But I ask you this, Rob Waters. You've been around the caper for a long time. Now, you went to the Middle East at the end of last year on that religious pilgrimage, and he wasn't able to run. He got a bit out of shape, then he blew up his calf twice. What do you reckon Daniel Wells is doing this off-season? Is he heading back to the Northern Hemisphere or not?
I don't think he's heading back to the Northern Hemisphere. I think he's heading to the fruit and veggie shop, eating well and getting himself really, really fit. And if he does, he could have a really big impact.
We jest, of course. We take the mickey. But it just shows how important this man is and how good a player he can be, because it was a joy to watch him at Collingwood yesterday. But looking forward to that match next week.
Well, North Melbourne, few issues. I'm not sure whether too many players are going to be sort of thought about coming in from the VFL. I think Collingwood got through yesterday's match pretty much unscathed on an injury front. There might be one change, but they've got a few issues. What do they do with Ben Brown? Do they send Reid back? Do they tag a Sean Higgins? Or do they back Collingwood's midfield? Now, North's clearance numbers are pretty poor. Collingwood's are among the elite. You'd probably get the sense that Collingwood just backed themselves. I think there's a bit of a psychological thing that the club's got to go through. Everyone's as flat as the proverbial right now. But eventually, as the week goes on, they might come to realise, hang on, they've taken the top team to a draw. They've played as well as they've played for years for 2.5 quarters of the match. Yep, they let the big lead slip, but there was plenty of optimistic things to come out of the match as well. And I think they should attack the final few weeks of the season with a hell of a lot of optimism after the last 3 weeks.
Josh Kennedy kicks 6 on Tyson Goldsack. McGovern and Jenkins get off the leash in the second half. It shows there's an issue in the back half, so Collingwood would have to go after Jake Lever, Adelaide's for mine, from a big picture kind of thing, and maybe play the kids. So Josh Dacos hurt his foot in the VFL over the weekend. Maybe you give Cale Kirby a chance over the past month. Now that they're out of finals, you think it's that time. Hey, Monday moment time.
Okay.
You're going to go first.
I will.
Unlikely hero time.
Well, it was. And a premiership player for Collingwood who's had his critics in the last few seasons, but gee, he enjoyed himself on the weekend. And wasn't this a great moment? You would have thought the game's nearly done when it spills out here from Elliott to Blair. Great pickup, one-handed pickup, off a step. He puts the Pies 15 points in front with 12 minutes to go. As we know, it wasn't enough. Like the little celebration from Jared as well, he would have enjoyed that moment. Unfortunately, the enjoyment factor couldn't have lasted too much further. But that was pretty impressive stuff from Jared. There was a lot of impressive stuff from the Magpies yesterday.
I would have thought they'd win from there, so that's a bitter pill to swallow. Now I'm going to go to the moments of the game, the one where everyone had their hearts in their mouths. What was it, 8 seconds left in the game, Rob, I think, when Jake Lever takes his ball, kicks back in fact, less than 5 seconds, and Mitch McGovern, Adelaide's the WA boy, flies in from the side. It was old school pack marking, Rob, and I tell you what, there are a few players in the league, I think, who can take a grab like that. He was sort of rotating in the air at the time and then goes back under all the pressure in the world, Rob. Coolly slots this set shot on his right foot, just sneaks in there, but it is good enough to secure the tie and get the 2 premiership points for the flag favourites. I tell you what, Rob, Freo into this man, $750,000 a year. I think he's going and he's money well spent.
Well, there's some suggestion that the Pies are also pretty interested, but at $750,000 a year, I'll tell you where he's going. It's going west. Gee, that kick didn't have much margin of error in it, did it? It just faded at the right moment. But you don't see marks like that much anymore, do you?
No. How many of them do you see a game? Not many. It was just an old school clunker, and that's why we love going on the footy, Rob.
Good on you, Jay. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Rob. Pies up against it at North Melbourne. They need a win to get back on the winners list.
So it's the Pies and the Kangaroos next week, with Wells and Greenwood playing against their old sides. Collingwood had the draw. Let's hope they can do a bit better next week. That's all from the agenda for this week.